everybody, Mandobug here with the Easy as 1, 2, 3 cat, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to do the half double crochet stitch. We'll go over the new addition to the pattern, the chart, and then we'll learn the new stitch. Alright, let's get started. So the new addition to the written pattern this week is rows 45 through 68, which will be a chain 2 turn with a half double crochet in each stitch across. And you have the new chart here as well. So you can see in this chart I showed the single crochet row from before. It's considered a wrong side, and we're going to be starting here on the right side with the chain 2 with a half double crochet in each stitch across, and we're going to be doing this for 24 rows 45 through 68. Your color A should be about this long, and we're going to be starting right here with color B in the half double crochet row. I mentioned that because I've only worked 7 rows here, and I don't want you to think, oh no, I crocheted way too much. No, you definitely need 44 rows to be ready for this video, but for the purposes of demonstration, I'm only going to have these 7 rows here. So let's pretend I've just completed row 44 here. This is where you should have left off. Now, we're going to switch to color B. We're going to have to do a little bit of unraveling. Not to worry, it's not much. It's just to show you how to cleanly switch from one color to another. So what we're going to do is we're going to unravel our last single crochet stitch and reinsert our hook. And we're going to be reworking that, but we need color B to be ready. So grab your color B and make sure it's ready to start soon. We're going to start our single crochet with color A and finish it with color B. So we're going to insert the hook into our last stitch again, yarn over, pull up. Our 2 loops are on the hook now. We're going to drop color A and pick up color B. Where before we would yarn over and finish our single crochet with the gray, we're going to finish with color B. We're just going to hold the tail behind our work, yarn over, and pull through the 2 loops with color B. So you can see that gives us a nice solid color A single crochet, but now our working loop is in our new color. So now we're ready to start our half double crochet row. Now, with our single crochet rows, we chained 1 to account for the height of the single crochet. Well, half double crochets are just a little bit taller, so we're going to need to chain 2. So at the beginning of our row, we chain 2 and turn. Now, before we insert our hook into that stitch, we have to do a yarn over. It's the first time we've yarn overed before we've entered a stitch. So for a half double crochet, we yarn over and we just hold it. I just use my pointer finger to hold that yarn on there. Some people don't. They find it's comfortable to just let it hang as it will. But I like to use my pointer finger to put my finger on that yarn over so that it doesn't go anywhere. So with that yarn over on our hook, we're going to insert it into that single crochet. And so you can see we have the working loop from the end of the chains, that yarn over we put on our hook. Now we're going to yarn over again, pull that through the loop, and now we have 3 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. And we've completed our half double crochet. Now this is the very first stitch in the row, so don't forget to grab your stitch marker and mark it. This is very important when you have more than 1 chaining turn, because this is where it is easy to lose track of where the beginning and the ends of your rows are, because you can see this chain 2 right here and this half double crochet stitch. So when you look at the top, you'll see your 2 loops right here, and that's what you want to insert your stitch marker into. Now I do want to note that depending on the pattern, sometimes the turning chain will count as the first stitch, sometimes it does not. So if you are following a different pattern in the future, you need to make sure you know whether the designer designed the pattern with the turning chain counting as the first stitch or not. In this pattern, the chaining turn does not count as a stitch for single crochet and half double crochet. So I just wanted to mention that because it is something that you may run into in the future. So this is marking the first half double crochet, counting it as a stitch, ignoring the chain 2 as a stitch. So now we're going to work half double crochet in each stitch across. So the half double crochet is yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. We have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook, and that's your half double crochet. When you're doing your half double crochet, make sure you're turning your hook when you pull through all 3 loops. You can see I made note earlier to tell you to make sure you're turning your hook to really snag that yarn, but it also helps you glide your hook through those 3 loops. I'm almost at the end of the row here. Going to do my last 2 half double crochets. Now to start the next row, I'm going to chain 2 for my turning chain. I'm going to turn. I'm going to work my first half double crochet into the top of my last half double crochet. Now half double crochets can be a little tricky to work into because you can see the 2 loops here on the side as well as the top and as well on the back side. So it can get a little tricky figuring out where to insert your stitch. Just remember that the 2 loops we want to work into are on the top of our stitch. When we turn our work sideways, we can see it right here on the top. So we're going to yarn over, insert here, which is our 2 top stitches, or 2 top loops, and we're going to do our half double crochet like that. So don't forget to grab your stitch marker and mark the first stitch of your row because this will be the last stitch of your next row. Another great thing that these stitch markers are very useful for is if you need to take a break from your work and put it down, you can put a locking stitch marker in that working loop so that your work doesn't unravel. All you do is put the stitch marker around the loop, lock it, put your work away, and no matter what happens, your work won't come undone because that stitch marker will stop it from coming undone. So now that we've marked our first stitch of the row, we just continue working a half double crochet into each stitch across the row, which will be 25 half double crochets. Making sure to work into the top of the stitch for each half double crochet. And now I've come to the end of this row. This is my last half double crochet. I know because I marked it with the stitch marker. I'm going to take the marker out. Work my half double crochet into that stitch. And I've finished row 2. So you just continue working that half double crochet row for 24 rows. And since we've already moved on to color 2, feel free to cut color A. We don't need that anymore, and I will show you how to weave in ends in a later video. So after you've completed your 24 half double crochet rows, you should have a color B section that is this size. Once you have gotten to that point, you are ready to meet me in video 3 to learn the double crochet stitch. So go ahead and continue your half double crochets until you get your 24 rows done, and I'll be ready to see you in the next video.